Good morning. Welcome to an exciting day in Utah State University history, Utah State athletics history, and specifically Utah State football. The start of a new era today. I want to welcome all of the press that are here. I know it's a little bit of an unusual situation, not having fans, not having the band, the hoopla here, and such is 2020 and dealing with COVID, but nonetheless should take away none of the excitement of today. And as most of you know, we started this journey of the search several weeks ago, and hey, I stuck by my timeline. I think I told folks up front we were going to have somebody in place by December 15th. Barely made it by a couple of days, but we made it. No, we are so excited today to welcome Blake Anderson as our new head coach here at Utah State. Just a brief minute from me, because he's the guy you really want to hear from. Tremendous interest in our job, a very diverse candidate pool. You know, one of the things that we did was literally went around the country. And you may say, well, how in the heck did you do that in COVID? I'm still not sure how we pulled it all off, but this is an extremely important hire. And quite frankly, while I've gotten accustomed to Zoom over the last 9.5 months, I just didn't feel like that in a Zoom call you could really do an adequate interview. In a lot of cases, there were a couple of candidates where we did have to do that with. But again, a great candidate pool, very diverse candidate pool. But at the end of the day, when we looked at all of the qualities that we want in our next head football coach here at Utah State, Coach Blake Anderson checks off all of those boxes. And I want to talk just a little about a couple of things that resonated. You know, you're going to hear him talk about blue-collar work ethic, blue-collar mentality, and you can see his body of work throughout his playing career, when he was both at Baylor playing for Coach Grant Taft, when he was at Sam Houston State finishing up as a player, and throughout his coaching career, starting many years ago. He's not as old as I am, but it was a few years ago at East New Mexico State to start his career, going all the way up through he spent some time at Southern Miss. I'm not going to hit them all, but Southern Miss, North Carolina as the coordinator, and his head coaching experience, 7 years at Arkansas State. In the first 6 years, bowl games every year, won 2 Sun Belt Conference championships, played for another one. Blake and I first really interacted when I was the athletic director at Troy. Obviously, Troy's in the same league with Arkansas State. I admired his work there as a football coach, but even more so, admired who he is as a person. And you can talk to coaches, both current and former, across the country, and they rave about Blake Anderson, the football coach, but people really, really talk about Blake Anderson, the person. And I think those qualities that he brings to Utah State as a winner on and off the field and a developer of young men, those things put him head and shoulders above the rest of our candidates and made him a very easy choice to be the next head coach at Utah State University. So without further ado, I would love to welcome Coach Blake Anderson, Utah State.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir. Beyond excited to be here. Excited just doesn't do enough. Beyond excited to be here. Honored to be the head coach at Utah State. I think number 29, I think, right? Is that right? 29th head coach here. I have familiar with the program, familiar with just the tradition and history here. Luckily, one of my closest friends, Matt Wells, was head coach here, successful head coach here, player here. And so I have listened to him talk about this place and what it meant to his family, just how much they enjoyed living here. I've watched the program win. Actually got my tail kicked right out there in that stadium not too long ago as the head coach at Arkansas State. So I feel like I'm pretty familiar with it. Spent 4 years on staff with Rocky Long at the University of New Mexico as part of my career. My very first Division I job was with Rocky at University of New Mexico, so I feel like I'm familiar with the Mountain West. So when I say I'm excited to be here, I feel like I've got enough knowledge of the place, the culture, the tradition and history here that I can truly mean it and truly be honored and just say thank you to those involved. You really got to start with John. John, he mentioned there's a ton of coaches all across the country, very, very talented, very qualified coaches that would love to be standing in front of you today saying some words and starting their program here. So I'm honored to be the guy that you guys chose that went through the process. Glenn Sugiyama sitting right back there, standing right back there. His search firm and John went to work, and my name came up, and it means the world to me that I got to be involved in the process with no guarantees of being the guy. And so I'm excited about where that leads. President Cockett, I mean, you get part of the process of getting a chance to meet her, a little bit of Zoom with her too, but just she had to be okay with me being the guy. She had to say yes. And then I think there's obviously a ton of other people that are involved in the process that I haven't even met yet. I do want to say a special thanks to Mr. Jim Lobb for a really nice ride out here for the guys coming in from Jonesboro. We aren't quite used to being treated quite so well, so thank you for Mr. Lobb for doing that. And obviously I think there's a lot of boosters, a lot of board members, and a lot of people that are involved in this decision. Starts with John, obviously, and Glenn creating the process, but so many other people. And I would just tell them, thank you, number one, honored to be here, and we're going to do everything we can not to let you down. Before I kind of get on to who we're going to be and what we're going to be, I want to stop real quick, though, and say thank you to a bunch of people in Jonesboro, Arkansas as well. 7 years at Jonesboro has been a wonderful ride. And I hope that these guys will listen, and I'm going to make sure I speak to them individually when time allows. I was an offensive coordinator with no pedigree. My dad wasn't a coach. I didn't win a Heisman Trophy. I wasn't a great player. I'm just a guy that played ball, that loved to play ball, that had fortunate enough to work his way up the ranks and scored some points at Southern Miss and at Carolina. But Terry Mohajir, Chuck Welch, and at the time Dr. Tim Hudson saw something in me 7 years ago and gave me an opportunity to be the head coach at Arkansas State, when, again, a ton of people would have loved to have the job. I wouldn't be standing in front of you guys today being announced as your head coach had they not done that, had they not given me the opportunity to do the job I did in Jonesboro. They became friends of mine. They have supported me all along the way, done basically everything I asked them to do to try to be successful, and obviously we were successful while we were there in a lot of different ways. So just a huge thank you to Terry Mohajir, Chuck Welch, Dr. Tim Hudson, and then also Kelly Danforth, the new chancellor that I've been fortunate enough to get to work for the last few years and really become a close friend. We had a 7-year run there, and we took over a mess. I was the 5th head coach in 5 years, so adversity came with day one, and I know we'll be dealing with some here and not afraid of it by any means. But what we were able to do, we were able to compete and rebuild at the same time. 6 straight bowl games, as he mentioned. We played for 3 titles. We won 2 of those. And this year, obviously, with COVID, I felt like we had a great team going into this season. Played close with Memphis, went to K-State and beat K-State in Manhattan for a Power 5 win. And then, as you guys know, COVID took over, and we were hit really, really hard. So I appreciate as well the fact that John had enough faith in me and my body of work that he didn't look at a 4-7 record in the middle of a COVID epidemic and let it define who he thought I was. And that says a lot about an AD, that he'll stand in front of you guys and announce a guy not looking at the record but looking at the man and the body of work. I can promise you we were much better than a 4-7 program. And I hope that, and I know those guys will, now with Butch Jones at the helm, they'll build where we left off, and they'll continue to raise that program and it'll do great. And I'll be a fan of theirs forever. To the fans, to the community, to the church, Central Baptist folks, to the staff, to the players, especially the staff and the players, and really, honestly, even the whole state of Arkansas. The last 3 years have been the hardest of my life. Losing my wife to cancer, losing my father to lung disease, and then what we went through this year in terms of adversity, I can tell you there is no way that I made it through the last three years without that group of people supporting me and helping me through that time. My family, my kids, the staff, and all the folks, just unbelievable. So I say thank you in as big a way as I possibly can to all the folks that helped us get to this point. Now, with that being said, even as tough as it was to go through the last 3 years, it was still just as hard to leave. When I got a chance, and I appreciate John giving me the opportunity to stand in front of my team, it never happens. It never happens in college ball or probably even the professionals where you get to stand in front of your team and tell them that I'm going to move on to another university and this is why, and I need your support. So I appreciate that maybe more than you know, because that was a family and that was 7 years of my life, and those kids did everything we asked them to do. And I appreciate that opportunity. But as hard as it was to leave, I'm just excited to be here. And I feel like that God's moving me in a new direction. And this is a great new challenge, new fresh start, a new opportunity for myself, for my kids, my girlfriend Brittany and her kids, my staff and their families. As much as we enjoyed that 7 years, the excitement of starting fresh in an unbelievable place with tremendous tradition and history in one of the prettiest places on the planet to do your job. I mean, I could not be more blessed. And so, to me, it's just an awesome, awesome opportunity. What's my plan? What's our goal? Our plan and our goal is to come in here and roll our sleeves up day one, find out what we've inherited, where the program, what level of adversity are we dealing with, where are our strengths, where are our weaknesses. We want to build on the strengths. It's not all broken. This place has been good for a long time. There's been some bumps in the road, no telling what COVID did to this particular team. So we want to find out what our strengths and our weaknesses are. We want to build on the strengths. We don't want to just come in and change everything. Build on the strengths, something I learned there as a head coach. And then we want to obviously affect the weaknesses as quickly and effectively as we possibly can and be efficient as we go about doing it. So we're going to build on the success and the tradition of the past. We're going to make you proud. We're going to work hard to make you proud. We got to recruit well. We got to teach well. We got to get involved in the community and be part of this place. And we will, I will tell you, the guys that are going to come work with me, I said work with me, not for me. The guys that are going to come work with me are going to be guys that understand community, understand the size this place is. We're not in a place with 1 million. We're a small town. We're a small town community, very similar to what we were in Jonesboro. We're going to be out and about. We're going to shake hands. We're going to be at games. We're going to be at church. We're going to be at the restaurants in the community. You're going to see us. You're going to know us by face and name. And we're going to get involved. And we're going to come out and put a product on the field that makes the people of the Valley proud, the alumni of Utah State proud, those people that have built these places. We know that we get to come to work at a great place every day because of so much work from so many people. Last thing is, the standard is very, very clear, is to win championships. It's that simple. The standard is high. I don't know how long that's going to take. I don't know exactly what the roster looks like, but I understand that the goal and the standard is to win championships, to win the Mountain West, and honestly be the best team in the country in a group of 5. That is the goal. We're going to have to be patient. We're going to have to be deliberate. We're going to have to take great action. We're going to have to be great recruiters and teachers to do that. But I absolutely believe that is possible, or I wouldn't be standing in front of you today. I would have never taken this job if I didn't think those things were possible. That's exactly what I expect out of the staff and myself. We're going to do it building it on really 3 things. We're going to build it on faith, family, and a fun, exciting atmosphere. I'm a Christian before I'm anything else. I love the Lord, and I feel like God put me in coaching. He built me that way to do exactly what I do. And I go to work. I don't really go to work. I just go to the office. It's not even work. I love what I do. I'm about affecting the lives of the young men and the staff around me in a way that honors God. So we're going to talk about faith. We're going to be about faith. And the guys that want to be a part of that environment, the guys are going to say yes to us in recruiting because they want to be around that environment every day. Family is huge to me. Obviously, losing people close to you makes it even more a priority. Maybe even my perspective is even more clear now than it's ever been before. So we're going to create family in every aspect of what we do, inside the locker room and out. We're going to be out and about in the community. I don't think family is just a football team. I think family is the local community. We want to do this together. We want everybody in the Valley to be wearing that logo and be in this stadium and be a part of what we do. So family and community, they go together, in my opinion. And so we know we've got to roll our sleeves up in that area as well. Be accessible, be open, go speak, share our stories, share our testimonies every way we possibly can, and have time to shake hands and talk to the 3 or 4-year-old that knows he wants to play here one day. We've got to do those things, the high school kids, the junior high kids, the people at church, and the people in the community. So family is going to be a pillar of what we do. And we're going to be fun. We're going to be fun to watch. We're going to be fun to be around. I mean, we have a blast when we work, so why not everybody have a blast being around us? The systems that we run, what we do offensively, defensively, is fun to watch, fun to be a part of, fun to play in. Recruits are going to enjoy what we do, but the fans in the stands are going to enjoy it as well. I'm going to tell you right now, don't go get something to drink in the middle of a series or you're going to miss the whole thing. You better go during media timeouts because we're going to be play faster than anybody else in the country on offense. So it is going to be an enjoyable, fun Saturday afternoon in a packed house with these guys working to win games. I talk about fast, physical, and fun all the time. We need to recruit speed. We've got to be fast. We've got to train fast. But we're also going to run a fast tempo pace of offense. We've done that over the last 20 years. We've been good at it everywhere we've been. We're going to continue that tradition here. So again, don't leave your seats. You need to be right there as the ball is being snapped. Ball's going to be in there. We're going to be very balanced. But we got to be physical. As pretty and as fun as some of the offenses are in the country to watch, at the end of the day, he mentioned blue collar. You must be blue collar, tough, physical to win championships. You got to run the ball and stop the run. Doesn't matter how it all looks. You can wrap it in a different wrapper. That's fine, and we do. But at the end of the day, we've got to be the toughest, most physical, most violent team on the field on game day. And that's how we'll build our program. And it'll start in the offseason on January 19th when the guys show up. So I hope they're ready. That's what I told them when I met with them the other day. And again, fun, exciting. Exciting for the players, exciting for recruits, exciting for the fans, the alumni, those that can be here, those that be watching it on TV. We want a product you're proud of, that you love being a part of. And if we play fast enough, if we play physical enough, and we put an exciting product on the field, we're all going to grow. We're all going to be proud to wear the logo, and we'll look up a few years down the road and no telling where we're at. But that's how we're going to build this thing. Probably the most exciting part for me right now is the staff that I'm going to be able to assemble here. They've given me a pool where I can go out and hire some of the best coaches in the country. And the list of people that want to be a part of the staff is very, very long. And I have been very deliberate and very intentional about how I put this staff together. I think it's, we talk about the things I've done, my accolades. I'm only as good as the people that work around me. I have gotten here because of the guys that have lifted me up and worked their tails off to get me here. And some of those guys are with me today. We're going to have people that bring great systems, great teachers, great just experience throughout all levels, Power 5 and below, going to be on the staff. We're going to have great people, great husbands, great fathers, people that you'll enjoy being around in the community, people you would love to have your kids play for, people that are going to treat them with compassion, love them, care, and teach them. But maybe the biggest thing, and maybe more important this day and age than ever before, it's going to be one of the most diverse staffs in the country. It is going to be diverse in every way, cultural, racial, just every background possible I want to have represented on our staff, just like is represented in our locker room. And with all this going on in our country, obviously for hundreds of years, but what's been at the forefront in our country over the last couple years and recent months? We talk about being a change and showing a change and doing things differently. The only way to do that is to be an example and step up and actually do it. And I'm not absolutely certain, but I think I'm close. We may be the only team in the country that will have minority leadership as a head strength coach, as the offensive coordinator, and the defensive coordinator positions. All three positions will be held by minority coaches. And basically every cultural background, every ethnic and racial background will be seen on our staff as well when you look from top to bottom. I want our kids in the locker room to know I'm not just talking about equality, not just talking about inclusion, not just talking about cultural equality and bringing everybody to the same page. And diversity, I want them to see it. And that means I have to step up and do it. And every piece of our staff is being put together that way. And that's, to me, that just excites me that we can do that here, and they've given me the opportunity to bring those guys in. There'll be some guys retained in different areas, but there'll be a lot of new faces. I've got a few of them here today, just real quickly. I want to introduce a couple of them. Dave Roberson will be the director of player personnel. He came with me, spent 7 years with me at Arkansas State, did a great job, has spent time at Penn State. We were together at Southern Miss as well. And so he'll be responsible for helping us build the recruiting base and the personnel of our football team, because it's all about recruiting and development. We want to win championships. It's recruiting and development. Kyle Cephalo will be coming in coaching wideouts. He'll be the pass game coordinator. Kyle's also coming from Arkansas State, been with me for basically the last 7 years. And if you look at our wide receiver numbers and our pass game numbers, this year finished third in the country. The last couple years, Biletnikoff Award finalists and guys going to the NFL, wideouts are going to want to play for that guy right there. Next to him is Nick Perimsky. Nick Perimsky will handle our special teams duties. He was with me the last few years there at Arkansas State as well, done a great job on the defensive side of the ball. Ethan Morris, right next to him. Ethan Morris is a young guy on his way up that did basically everything I asked him to do. And he's one of those guys that I started thinking about when that plane's going to take off, how in the world am I going to leave this guy behind? He doesn't really know what he's going to do for me, and I don't really know what he's going to do for me yet, but we're going to figure it out as we go. I know this. Whatever I ask him to do, he'll do it better than I would have done it myself. And that's why I want him here. The last guy really needs no introduction because everybody knows what he looks like and knows what he did. It makes me absolutely fired up to bring home one of your very own, one of the best players to ever play out in that stadium. I mean, when you could talk about bringing back somebody that everybody in the community, we went to eat the other night and everybody recognized him. They all want to take pictures with him. Mr. Chucky Keaton will come back, be coaching with us on offense at either the running back or tight end position. And when I called Matt Wells about potentially hiring him, he could not stop talking about what kind of coach he is going to be in his career and his future. Just unbelievable. And when I called him, the excitement that I heard from his voice just made me even more excited. This is perfect. It's been great to have him in the room already. And the way the kids are going to respond to him, the way the community responds to him, and the Aggie Nation responds to him is one of the biggest steps of us getting right back where we all want to be. Bringing back one of your own is always huge. Last thing I'll say, guys, again, I'm beyond excited. If you can't tell that out of my energy, then I'm not doing a great job this morning. I'm beyond excited for the opportunity to be the head coach here. I love to just think about the possibilities of what God's got in store for us moving forward. Just what can we achieve? What can we do here that's never been done before? How long will it take? I don't know. How much work? Doesn't matter. We're going to do it. Think big, dream big, expect big, and everybody roll up their sleeves together with us. I can't do this. We can't do this by ourselves. Anybody that's watching, anybody that loves this place, it's going to take us all. We're going to have to jump in together. It's going to take us all. But we can do something special. We can do something, even build on the tradition and history of the past. What's next? What can we do next? That's what fires me up. Can't wait to see it. I know guys got some great things in store. We can't wait to get on the ground running January 19th when the guys roll back in and get to work in the weight room. All season out here, spring ball, and seeing people show up. Hopefully COVID's not still keeping us in Zooms and face masks. But I say this, I look forward to Saturdays next fall with a packed house, with the sun shining behind the mountains, when the ball being thrown in the air and guys flying around hitting people when they got it. I look forward to it. I can't wait to do it. I'm proud to be here. Go Aggies.
Absolutely. Let's roll.
Any questions for Coach?
We're going to ask questions? Okay.
Coach, over the last decade, the same recruiting blueprint has been employed. How is that going to change under your leadership?
Well, I mean, we're kind of locked into where we are in terms of the foundation of the recruiting area. And so part of putting together the staff will be to strategically attack those areas. Guys that have West Coast ties, guys that are local ties, cultural ties as well, Polynesian, Mormon ties. We're going to get into Texas some, where I'm from, where Chucky's from. Obviously, one of your best players is from Houston. So, I mean, we're not just going to pick this place up and move it. But I think strategically what we will do is the approach that we take, my active approach to recruiting. I need to be the best recruiter out of any head coach in the Mountain West and the best recruiter out of any head coach in the country. I think one place that just has not been utilized a lot here recently is the Kansas junior colleges, and that's something we had a tremendous amount of success. If you look back at some of the best players we've had in the last 10 years, offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, first all-team conference players at a lot of different positions, and NFL players beyond. That is an area that we think we found value that you don't see on the roster right now. So that might be the one change, I think, but the way we approach recruiting is probably the biggest change.
Hey, Coach Anderson. Jason Turner from the Herald Journal. Just how did that first meeting go with the team on Saturday? What concerns did they express to you, and how confident are you that you got off to the right foot with them?
I'm very confident, just based off the feedback that I've gotten from the guys in the last few days, is I think they could tell that I was very sincere about wanting to listen to any issues that they felt like they've had. Obviously, we've all read the reports here recently and just some of the issues that maybe they felt like weren't listened to. I can't affect the past. I can only affect the future. And I made it very clear, my plan, as I just did with you guys, about what I want to do with the staff, what I want our building to be like, and how I'm going to approach work every day. I don't expect those guys to trust me anytime soon. I know that's going to take a while, and I'm perfectly fine. I was the 5th head coach in 5 years. Those guys didn't trust me until they knew I wasn't going to leave right after the very last game of the season. So I understand this process is going to take a while, and we're okay. We're going to be patient with them. What we got to do is be consistent. If we'll come to work every day and be the right kind of people and treat them the right kind of way, that stuff will build. But I like the first step. I like the way the body language and the energy was in the room, and I like the response that I've gotten from them. So I think we're on as good a first step as we could be considering the circumstances, but we're not going to let this define us. All right, we're going to define what that program is going to be on how we act every day.
Hi, Coach. Dan Hubbard from KCH Radio. You talked about being fast and physical. It almost sounds like a return to the Matt Wells era.
Well, I love Matt Wells to death, but no offense, we're going to play faster, and we're going to be physical. He did a great job, and he does still. I know he's got some challenges going on in Lubbock right now, but y'all know he's a great coach. It's a little different. There are some of the air raid principles in our offense, but we have continued to progress and move in a little bit further and taking it a little bit further. And as you'll see, I think you'll see some similarities, but the tempo, the run game, and especially the spacing and splits that we'll use will look a little bit unique.
Coach Anderson, Jacob Nielsen, Utah State's been the student paper here on campus. You talked a lot about how you want your team to be tough and blue collar. How do you instill that culture into this place and into your guys?
Well, number one, it starts in the recruiting process. We got to identify those guys in recruiting that are willing to be that kind of guy. I mean, if you know that in recruiting, then they just don't fit us. If they're that kind of guy, then we want to recruit as many as we can. I think the second place you affect it, and maybe the most effectively, is in the offseason with your strength staff. And I would love to tell you who my strength coach is going to be, but out of respect for him finishing up with the bowl team, I won't. I can promise you this. I've seen the buildings he's been a part of. I've seen the product he's put on the field. We will be tough. We will play hard and fast, and we will get to the ball in a bad mood. All right, and those guys spend 80% of their time with a strength staff. Whether rules are built today and the dead periods of recruitings and then the opportunities that they tell coaches you can't coach. The strength staff, they never tell the strength staff they can't be with them. They are going to play like my head strength coach and his staff, and I promise you I have more confidence in the guy that's coming than anybody else in the industry. And he's done a phenomenal job, and once we announce him and you see his track record, I think you'll understand why I'm excited about having him. Is that it? Wow, you guys are easy. I took it easy on me today. Thank y'all so much, guys. Appreciate you.
Again, just to close, thanks so much for being here today. Those folks joining us by Zoom, thank you. An exciting day for Utah State football, and we're looking forward to the future. Obviously, this year was a little different, but hey, we can't wait for Coach Anderson and his staff to get going, for our players to get back here after about a month off, and before we know it, it'll be next September in Pullman, Washington, getting ready to tee it up again, and we're excited about that. Thanks so much, and I think there will be some individual media opportunities for those who want it. Thanks again for everybody being here today. Take care. Go Aggies.